Hey, I'm And.
And I'm Beck.
And we are the Gold Diggers, because we believe there's gold found in everyone.
Everyone is unique, interesting and exciting with a great story to share.
And we aim to find it.
The question is, can we rise to the challenge and strike gold? Stay tuned to find out as we chat to today's mystery guest.
Honey, you're my sugar.
So this is how it works. One of us knows our mystery guest and the other doesn't. And today it's Beck's turn to discover the gold in our special guest, Rebecca Vizi. Welcome, Rebecca.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome, Rebecca. I really love your name, Rebecca. That's such a good name. And you're wearing pink. I love pink too. Welcome to the show.
I love it too.
So for those of you that are joining us on YouTube right now, you'll see that there is a great array of pink in the studio today.
I'm wearing pink too.
Yeah.
Twinning.
The one that's not.
We are twinning names and colours today, Beck.
Yeah, it must be something about the name Beck.
Amazing.
Now you like to be called Beck, Rebecca?
Just Beck.
Just Beck.
Beck.
Beautiful.
Yep. So-
We call her Pink Beck.
Pink Beck?
Yeah.
Okay, so to give you a little bit of a brief about Beck, she's 35, born in Melbourne, but raised on the sunny coast, and clearly loves the colour pink.
Lovely.
So that's it. We'll send you out of the room. Beck number one.
Rightio.
Honey, you're my sugar.
So, Beck, thank you for bringing the sunshine in the studio today with your beautiful bright colours. It's so lovely to have you here. You've got a really interesting story. I've known you for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I have watched you on social media because we haven't connected for a while. But
Yeah.
I've watched this journey with you on your social media because you've got quite a following now. And
Yeah.
I know that you've overcome a lot of things in your life. One of the things that you're really proud of that you've overcome is actually borderline personality disorder.
Yeah.
I just think that's incredible, and I'm really interested to hear the story of how you've done that. And I know you say it's because you've discovered your passions and found things that you're really good at, but I just think there's going to be so much gold in that story because I know that mental health is a particularly,
Yeah.
it's high on people's agenda, and to be able to find tools and skills of how to combat that and to be so self-aware, because you're very self-aware about it, and I just think that's amazing. But one of the passions of yours is like strength training and Zumba and like staying fit and active.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah. And you were recently on stage for I see you have a medal here. What
Yes,
is
I
this?
do. So for the ICN, so I got a medal on stage for it. I did some posing on stage with my pink walking stick, and yeah, it's really helped me, especially the mental health and also with my physical disability, functional neurological disorder. So,
Yes, well, I was coming to that because that is actually incredible, because you've had 2 hip surgeries and then discovered that you have a disorder which is caused you to have some severe disabilities.
Yeah.
So to still be overcoming that and pushing the boundaries and the limitations of your physical strength and ability is actually a really inspiring journey. And I know that you've got a social media account, Pinkspiration Beck, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and you're posting like how you're progressing through your physical journey.
Yeah.
I just love watching this. I'm watching
thank
you
you.
shine, Beck. Really, I am. And I can see that's bringing you lots of enjoyment and fulfillment. And you've got a few exciting things coming up, haven't you?
Yes, I do. So I'll be doing another competition in September in Brisbane, another ICN. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'll also be doing the WBFF on the Gold Coast next year. So
Wow.
very excited about that.
Well, and I can see you every day. You're just getting stronger and stronger. And I do strength training, so I understand all the terminology that you use and all the different kilos and all that sort of stuff. So this is amazing. I'm really inspired by you, Beck. But one of your mottos you say is never give up. Stand up for yourself. Don't let disability stop you from achieving your goals, because you deserve happiness. I just think that is beautiful, Beck. And I'm really, really proud of you.
Thank you.
That you've got such perseverance to overcome, and you've got the strength to push the boundaries. And the thing I really love the most, and this is your gold, is that you don't let the stigma of mental health define you, that
Absolutely.
you've redefined it. And I think that that's so encouraging and inspiring for other people that are on that journey.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to unpacking that story, and let's bring Beck back in.
Honey, you're my sugar.
Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. It's nice to be in the studio with you all today.
Yes. I'm looking forward to this one. This is going to be a really good podcast. Beck has got an incredible story.
Awesome.
I can't wait for you to find it.
I'm very excited too. I mean, anyone with the name Rebecca,
Yep.
you know, there's going to be a good story there. So.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Well, let's begin, shall we? So, Beck, you were born in Melbourne and are a local Sunny Coast resident now.
Yeah.
Your childhood, was it mainly in Melbourne or did you move up quite early?
We moved up quite early, say when I did preschool and primary school and high school up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Awesome. So, did you have any major events happen during those schooling years that kind of set you on a course for later in life?
Well, I did have a little bit of trauma, you could say, and I did go through like bullying through primary school and high school. So that did kind of set in like the mental health struggles from then on.
Yeah. Bullying's an awful thing, isn't it? And it's something that you really need the support of others to know what's going on and to help you through that. Did you have that support during that time?
Sometimes I did and sometimes I didn't. So, but there could have been more done, that's for sure.
Was there anything specific that the bullying stemmed from?
I'm not too sure exactly like the causes. Like in primary school I had a broken collarbone from someone pushing me down a hill. In high school, I think it was either grade 11 or grade 12, someone strangled me with a school tie. So, but after those events, after a few years, I definitely have found peace and forgiveness with that.
I think with bullying though, so often there is no rhyme or reason.
No.
It is just somebody picks a fault at you that's not even obvious, and then you know, it's a continual thing. It's just
just
very
kids
traumatic.
having jabs, isn't it? Just wanting to, I don't know, say something they think is smart but hurts other people. Yeah, it's pretty.
And for some, it can actually define their life from that moment.
Yeah. So it did affect like my mental health and that kind of thing. So
So how did you overcome that? How did you?
Well, I did go through some really bad mental health, and that's when after that, and with some family issues, and there was divorce and other issues within the family. So then I did get diagnosed later down the track with borderline personality disorder because of symptoms that I had. Like I was dissociating, like I was there but not really there.
Wow.
And I had lost my memory. I was overdosing on pain medication and self-harming I was doing. So it really did affect me a lot.
Oh, Beck.
Yeah,
that's no good. I mean, you just look so well and healthy now. So you've obviously come on a great journey from that time.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? What steps did you take to overcome these things?
I think I got some really big tough love, you could say, especially from some pastors at C3 Church, the senior pastors, and especially Pastor Kathy. She was a big role model in my life. So, and she gave me some really good advice and prayed for me, and so that helped as well. And also I did boot camps with Lisa Curry.
Wow.
She gave me some really tough love, that's for sure. So
what does tough love look like? What kind of...
it was kind of like, come on, Beck, you've got this, but not so in a
heartless
comforting way,
yeah.
but like more stern, but you know you need it. You just know you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it didn't
like
upset
at the
you?
time I didn't know I needed it.
Yeah.
But looking back, I'm like, Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
See, I find that absolutely fascinating, because we would often think that we go with kid gloves around mental health issues.
Yeah.
But to actually just lay it out straight, be tough, and that really helped you. I think that's such a key.
Yeah, and plus I did gain weight. So I think when I saw one doctor, he told me that I was on the borderline of obesity. So that really got to a point, and that's when I joined Fernwood and got Lisa Curry's help and started to join classes. At first I was so shy.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to do any classes at all. Not doing it. I was like, put my hands up. But then, when I think someone came with me, and that really helped.
Wow, just to break you into that space.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What a great opportunity to have Lisa Curry working with you. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Maybe let's just explain who Lisa Curry is. I know most Australians are going to know, but if you are from overseas... She is a national icon, isn't she? Yeah,
pretty sure she was like an Iron Woman, and she did a lot of swimming events.
She's an Olympian,
She's very known for, so
Yes, she was always in the news. I think the 90s, I think she was very much in the news during the 90s, early 2000s. And a local here on the sunny coast. So,
So that was an incredible honour that she's actually was your trainer.
Yeah, definitely.
And you found that time with her really started to pull you out of the mental health battle you were
I definitely
facing?
did.
Yeah. So it was quite a significant turn in your life at that point.
Yeah. And especially just joining other different group classes, and that's where I met some incredible women as well. So because everybody's journey was different, and they really made me feel at ease. And I made friends as well. So and I joined like a Zumba class, and it wasn't really like you were exercising, you were just dancing to music basically.
Yeah.
Can I take you back to that moment when you made the decision that you need to do something about it? You felt you put on too much weight, you needed to do something about it, and then obviously your mental health was a concern for you as well. That is a big step to go from that into actually going into a gym, joining a class. I mean, I joined a gym end of last year, and I was feeling intimidated, and I'd already actually was on the process to getting a lot fitter. It's an intimidating thing.
It can be.
Turning up at a gym, but when you've got all those things sort of stacked against you, how did you process that decision, and how did you finally make the leap?
I think because my mental health was still quite bad, I was there but still not really there. So for me, I knew deep down that I had to do something. So you just have this gut feeling, even though I'm really shy and, really nervous, but the staff at Fernwood were really lovely.
So when you say you were there but not really there, was it like you were trying to break out of yourself again, like to become you again, like you were kind of, it's hard to explain. Like you wanted to rise up as you again rather than being, I guess,
and
shut
rather
within
being
yourself.
Down like rock bottom kind of things. And I knew I didn't want to stay down there.
Yeah.
So did you become like really self-aware as to the things that perhaps could trigger those feelings for you?
Yeah, I definitely learned a lot about like, okay, so what would trigger, like, say, back then, wanted to self-harm, that kind of thing. Okay, but I had to find ways of not doing that anymore. So it definitely took a lot of time and a lot of practice learning that. But once I found things that I could work on that would benefit me from not doing those things, I could see that it was working.
Yeah, so you had like a vision cast of where you wanted to be and work towards that vision of being pulled out of that self-harming phase. And wow, that takes a lot of determination, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And willpower. And
That's amazing, Beck. Seriously, that is quite remarkable to be able to have the awareness to be able to do that. And the drive to want to find those things that can pull you out of it.
So good, Beck. Good on you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I saw that your dad came in with you this morning.
Yeah.
So he's a good supporter.
Yeah, he definitely has become a great supporter. So we've found like shows that we have in common that we watch. So I used to watch, still do some wrestling. So I know I've got that in common with him.
Right.
With my mum, it's like crime shows. So it's a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Good selection.
And then I sometimes watch Real Housewives at night.
Right.
And you already mentioned Bold and the Beautiful.
Mixture.
So you like some good shows.
What's your favourite crime one?
Law and Order, SVU, and NCIS.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Actually, I can name a few. FBI as well.
Have you ever thought of becoming a detective, Beck?
Well, I used to work in the courthouses.
Did you? What did you do there?
I used to work in the courtroom.
Okay.
Underneath the magistrate. So, yeah.
What was your role?
So, they would call it a depositions clerk. So, and then sometimes I would do admin work, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. Oh, very interesting.
So that was about when I was like 21.
Right. Did you have to study to do that or?
Yeah, I did like a diploma in justice admin.
So Beck, I've got to say, I love your outfit today.
Thank
it's very
you.
pink, which is one of my favourite colours. So is pink something that is part of what you do? Wearing the pink, is it representing something?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Could you tell me?
A few years ago, I found out that by wearing pink, it has really helped with my mental health and it brings me more joy.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's the meaning behind it.
You know, there is a lot of science behind that. That
Yeah.
different colours, like interior designers will tell you that different colours represent different things and bring out different emotions.
Yeah, right.
So that is amazing.
Yeah.
What emotions would you say that brings out for you then, pink?
Yeah, definitely joy, and it just brings me peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, along that line, I have to admit, I don't know a lot about multiple personality disorder. Do you mind going into that a bit for me and just explaining what that involves?
Yeah. So I got diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and some of the symptoms are like self-harming, depression, anxiety, dissociative disorder. So it's kind of where like you're kind of there but you're kind of not there, so you're like in a mental breakdown kind of thing.
Right.
You could run away, you would speed off while driving. It's kind of like mental breakdown. And
so is it like an awareness thing? You're physically present but perhaps not fully aware.
Yeah.
Right. And is that scary for you when that happens?
Yeah, it definitely was. Absolutely. Right. Yeah.
So just walk me through that process. So you'd be feeling normal, and then you'd feel like you've got this disconnect going on inside?
Yeah, got a disconnect. Yeah. And quite a few years ago when I was driving, I would drive to a place and be like, how did I get here? What was I doing?
Right.
So, yeah, it was definitely scary.
So like blackout moments?
Almost,
kind of
yeah. But
and
you would be doing it fine, but you won't remember.
So was there a trigger moment that would bring you back into where you are and for you to go, what am I doing in this space? Was there something that would trigger you back, or is it just something that you were kind of normal and then you'd have the disconnect moment and then you'd just back again going, where am I? What?
Maybe a trigger in my head, or someone would be like, hey, Beck, what's going on? What are you doing? So like if I turned up at the doctor's, a receptionist would be like, why are you here? So, yeah.
And are you aware in those moments that you're unaware, if you like?
Not at the time, no.
Wow.
Is it almost like daydreaming? Is it a little bit
it's
like
almost
daydreaming?
like daydreaming.
Yeah, right. And then I know sometimes I drive places I normally go, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm actually at this road.
yeah. It's almost like that, but it could be a danger factor.
Right.
Yes.
And were you aware of this as a child? Was this something that became apparent early on?
It started to become more apparent in high school.
Yeah.
And that stemmed from the bullying that you were suffering through that time.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Isn't bullying awful?
And the insecurities and things like that. And not being so confident in myself. And
you mentioned that you had a lot of family things going on at the same time. So it all contributed to send you on this path. So, Beck, was there like a moment people started noticing that you're having this disconnect with the borderline personality thing and just noticing, oh, Beck's not quite herself at the moment? And did they speak in and say you might need to go and see someone?
Yeah, definitely my parents. It was like a guidance counsellor at one of my high schools, and so then they referred us to family psychology clinic. Dr. Robbie, actually.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Robbie's Ondrecker.
Yeah. So it was his psychology clinic.
Right.
Yeah.
And you started noticing improvements.
So it took quite a while, but definitely what I was learning was definitely helping.
What are some of the tools that maybe he taught you to how to combat that?
Yeah, so he got me to see, I think, Rhiannon, and then I saw Francesca, her name was, and definitely I had to learn to journal better and find what were the triggers and start to find just the simplest things that I was grateful for and thankful for each day and write that down. Whereas now I don't really have to write it down because I already know. I already tell it to myself, and I do write it down in my diary. So
it becomes a habit.
Absolutely. Yeah. And being thankful for something every day really helps your mental health.
Yeah, that's great.
So that is absolute gold, Bex. Seriously, just if we can all grasp that, whether we have a diagnosed mental health condition or just to implement that in our everyday life.
Absolutely.
To know every day what there is to be thankful for. Because there's always two sides to look at any situation, isn't there? We can always look at the negative or the positive, but to choose to look at the positive really has so much benefit for your mental health.
Yeah. And Beck, for you to now not need to journal those gratitude points, and it's just a natural daily thing for you. I mean, your league's ahead of half the population.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's beautiful that that's a natural thing that you do now.
Yeah.
Because it really does help, doesn't it? It makes you
does.
see life through positive eyes rather than everything that's wrong with us, is rather than, wow, what a blessing that today is a beautiful sunny day, or what a blessing my car works, or
absolutely.
The simple things, isn't it? And the pink is definitely a beautiful, happy colour. And was that part of your journey with the psychologist? Did they pull the colour thing out with you, or did that come through something else?
They did. Yeah.
And then with your training, then that was next level for you?
Yeah. So I definitely spoke about that with the psychologist, and they helped me to move forward with that step.
That's great.
Just for the benefit of those who are not joining us on YouTube, Beck has come in today dressed in pink trainers, leggings, a pink jumper, and even has her hair dyed pink. So you're very committed to the colour.
Lipstick.
Pink lipstick,
Yes, well, it's a lovely colour. I wonder if you mind me just mentioning, I noticed that you walked in with a walking device.
Yeah.
Do you mind me asking why you use a walking device?
Yeah, so a few years ago, I had 2 right hip labral tear repairs on my right hip surgery. So with that, I have had some mobility issues. So before getting the surgery, I was trying to tell doctors and psychologists, hey, I've got hip pain, but instead they were going back to my mental health saying, oh, but back then you had borderline personality disorder, and didn't believe me. So then I had to go on with the pain for ages. And then finally, since I was going to the hospital for too many times, then they got me onto an orthopedic to finally see that I had torn my right hip.
Wow, that's a long time to suffer pain, and it must have been frustrating that no one really
it was
took
about
you
a year
seriously.
till I got diagnosed with the torn hip.
In that moment, did you question yourself, though?
Yeah,
because I know some people...
The first surgery I did.
Right.
Yeah, but I had to learn to stand up for my rights and get the doctors on my side, because, well, we know our own bodies, because well, they don't, because they don't know what we're going through with the pain.
I know that because there was a period of time where I was sick for a number of years and the doctors were doing all the tests and everything and they couldn't find what was wrong with me. And then they put it down to, you're just imagining it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That journey is so frustrating because you're so aware, no, there's something definitely not right here.
And then they make it out to us that, oh, we're getting sad because of anxiety. Well, yeah, we're getting anxious because you're not believing us. And there's so many, I found out that there's so many people out there going through the same thing, being gaslighted by doctors. So it's a big issue at the moment. Yeah.
I can relate to that too, because as a teenager, I had chronic fatigue. And I think one of the biggest annoyances of it was people just saying it's all in your mind.
Yeah.
And you couldn't explain it to them because you look healthy.
Yeah.
There's nothing they can see that's wrong with you. But you know that, like you were saying, Ange, that there's something wrong and you're not your normal self. And but I think when people doubt you, that's probably a symptom, like something you have to deal with on top of everything else that makes it even harder.
But I think when you've come from a mental health background and then the doctors
then
question
they
it.
do look at it and question it.
And
but
then you begin to
that
question
I've
it.
recovered from it, so I had to try to tell them, no, I don't have those symptoms. Yes, I've gone through it, but it has made me stronger to stand up for myself now.
Yeah,
good on you for persevering, Beck.
Yeah.
You know, that's challenging to stand up to, you know, some of the medical professionals.
And then for them to physically find it.
And so then I had the hip surgeries. Then after that, about 2 years after, the right hip was pretty good, going well with physio, all of that. Then we had moved house, and then I fell off my bed, and so then it affected my whole left side. So I got sent to a pretty good hospital. So then they did all tests all down my body, which I was very thankful for. The rehab doctor, he diagnosed me with functional neurological disorder, and they found I had early menopause as well.
Right. Wow.
So what is functional disorder?
Neurological disorder. Yeah, it's kind of where the simple way to put it is where the brain has trouble connecting with the body to move.
Right.
So it's kind of like the nervous system in the brain, that there's something not connecting right.
Right.
Yeah.
So if your brain's telling something to move, it may not happen as quickly as what you need it to.
Yeah.
Right. So how did you deal with all that, Beck? Wow,
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, well, I think I was actually more nervous about the early menopause because I hadn't even heard of it. Like, wait, I'm 32 or something. So I'm like, are you sure? But I got Lisa Curry's help with that. So because she helps other women with that. So I was more at ease about that.
Kind of medical treatments and that, doesn't she?
Yeah, happy hormones. So it's called.
Right.
So.
And that was helpful?
Yeah, definitely helpful. Great. Yeah, so, and dealing with the functional neurological disorder, I then got referred to a neurologist who's actually in this building at the Beach Brain, and he actually knows about it, so which really helped. Yeah. And he got me onto a Facebook support group as well, so FND awareness in Australia. So, and Facebook support groups are really helpful. So because I was even on one for BPD, and I find them helpful because you're talking to other people that are going through the same thing that you are. They may have some little bit of different symptoms, but they still know.
And it's really good to know that there are other people out there who are experiencing what
and
you're
so that you're not alone
you're not
as well.
alone.
If you can't go to your normal friends and family, you know, you can ask a question on the Facebook support group.
Yeah, because understanding is so valuable, isn't it? Like,
absolutely.
When you are understood because you've been through something. And I think that's part of, for everyone, experiences we go through can then help others, can't they? Because then everyone else knows that we're not alone. It is a real thing. You are going through something that other people go through. So that's
But you haven't just taken recovery just so that you can function normally. You've taken it to another level, haven't you? Yeah.
So what is it, Beck?
I gave you a nice little inroad there, Beck.
What is it that drives you now, Beck? Tell me a bit about that.
My physio at the knee joint, they've been really supportive with my physiotherapy, and I see them weekly. And I see an exercise physiologist, so at the sports hub, and they've been good. And I've now been seeing like a coach, Leon, his name is, from Body and Mind by Leon, and he's gotten me into some ICN competitions. And
what is ICN?
So it's kind of like I compete natural, so bodybuilding, but
Beck is just about to show me a
medal that
medallion.
I got on stage a few weeks ago.
Oh my
So this is a bodybuilding competition, isn't it?
Yeah, so they got me to
That's
do
amazing.
it with my pink walking sticks. So, yeah, they're very inclusive, and I'm just loving it because they're so supportive, and I found something that I can still do and enjoy.
Yeah.
So Beck, bodybuilding.
I know.
Please tell me about bodybuilding. Oh my God, goodness. It's just like you've gone through all this stuff and all these, I'm going to goal now, but let's go to bodybuilding. Please tell me about it.
Yeah, so it's more to do with my strength training. I do a lot of upper body work, but with Leon and my EP, with my physio, I work on my lower body. Yeah. So we've really found a good balance, and so yeah, I enjoy doing the bench press. I can do 35 kilos now.
Wow.
So
Good on you.
that's a new
That
PB.
deserves a fist pump. We're fist pumping in the room right now. That's
Can't
great.
reach, but yeah, air fist pump.
Honestly, that's probably about what I do, maybe even slightly more.
Yeah, I don't do it. So you're doing better than me.
That's
amazing,
awesome.
Beck. And so you won.
Yeah.
Amazing. So what was the category
So
for
the
that?
category was Miss Sports Model, but physically challenged. So yeah, they're very inclusive and got to share a bit of my story. And for me, it was more about just getting stronger. And now I'm learning a little bit more about the next step, a little bit with nutrition. And yeah, I'll do another competition this time in Brisbane, so in September. So I'll get to see how I go with travel and everything else. So yeah.
When it comes to like your physical fitness, your physical health, I think setting those goals is really important because it gives you something to work towards.
Absolutely.
And really helps you get up every day and do something.
Yeah, something to look forward to. Yeah. So even though I've got some mobility issues, at least I'm putting these goals in place even for next year. Like last year I couldn't put so many goals in place for this year. So whereas now I'm like, boom, let's do this. And I'm enjoying, I get to go to some Sunshine Coast Lightning netball games now with my mum and a friend. So
great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Isn't she so inspiring?
Very, very.
So
this is your first competition,
medal.
and now you're lining up more.
Yeah, and next year the WBFF on the Gold Coast. So with some of the Muscle Nation team.
Excellent. So Beck, it's all up
away.
from here. You're just going to keep moving forward with goal after goal.
And I've got another goal after the competitions next year. My physio said I can go back to Fiji.
Hello, that's awesome.
I did forget to mention you do love Fiji, and it is a place that you used to visit quite frequently.
Yeah, I haven't gone for 5 years because of the hospital stays and surgeries and that. So
she does a lot of humanitarian type stuff over there.
Yeah, my grandma used to go 35 times. I've been 17 times.
Wow.
So, my grandma helped to establish a church on Beachcomber Island for the staff because that's what they really needed and wanted. So,
Well, I think we're ready for some gold, Beck.
I think we are, Beck. Well, I'm just astounded at the amount of obstacles you've had in your life, and your determination is incredible. To hit the lowest of lows as you did with your mental health and everything, but to have this spark within you that wants to rise up above it all and break out of that determination is commendable. It's really incredible that you've just pushed through, you've risen above it, you've dealt with it, you've gone through the journey to just keep going. You didn't give up. And now you've hit this pinnacle where you're now competing and it's just up and up from here, Beck, isn't
Absolutely.
it?
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
a really wonderful overcoming story.
And she's actually inspiring other people on her journey because you've got an Instagram page, haven't you? You've combined the word pink and inspiration to make it Pinkspiration,
Ooh, I
Beck.
like that.
Yeah.
And as you can imagine, everything is pretty much pink.
Yeah.
But you
Nothing
really
wrong
are
with that.
But you're really inspiring others and encouraging others to gain control of their mental health and their physical health. And I think that's a really powerful and important message to put out there.
And showing people that there is
and
a way
to
out.
have hope as well. So
Hope is so important, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Beck, thank you so much for being in the studio today. We loved having you, and your story is so incredible. I just know it's going to encourage a lot of people, and you've delivered some real keys today in how people can get control of their life.
Well done, Beck. Very inspiring. Thank you
you.
for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
Yeah, I get so emotional just watching Beck now because last time I saw her was probably a good 7 years ago, something like, probably longer actually.
Yeah.
And she was still very much in her mental health battle then.
Yeah.
To see her now, I'm so proud of her because she really has overcome so much and really pushed through. It's amazing.
Yeah, she's really just shooting goals, isn't she? It's incredible what she's actually gone through. And some people don't come out of that, but she's actually showing people that you can come out of that, which gives enormous hope, doesn't it? And then to succeed and in what she's doing and keep pressing forward onto the next goal.
I think goal setting is actually really key
Yeah.
in helping people to move forward because it really sets something that you want to achieve, and that helps you every day to make progress, and that clearly has helped her. I just think, she's been through some real storms in her life, some real fire, and I think it's in those moments where we actually find the most gold if we're prepared to look. And often we have to look inward, and that's what she's done. She's looked at herself and thought, okay, what do I need to do? She's taken her responsibility for herself. What do I need to do to get myself out of this? She's taken counsel from good people around her. She pushed herself to go and start a gym, joined a community, and they've really helped to bring her through. And it's just, and there's so many lessons to learn in that.
And I think she knew, even though when she was lost in the borderline personality thing, she knew enough of herself to know that she could push through and get over that. But also when people didn't believe her, she also knew enough of herself to say, no, this is true what I'm feeling. This is true what's going on with my body, and to persist until someone listened.
And one of the things she said, like one of her mottos, which I introduced her, was like, to you deserve happiness. So have value in yourself and push through. Don't give up. You can overcome disability. And I just love the fact that you deserve happiness, and mental health or physical disabilities doesn't deprive you from happiness. You can still have it if you just push through and keep going.
It's not over.
So that's it for today's podcast. You'll find us on all the major podcast platforms. The podcasts come out every Wednesday. We'd love to hear from you on our socials, the Gold Diggers Podcast. Tell us about your story so we can find the gold in you.
Easy as pie, lemon, apple or cherry. Loving you is so very sweet, sweet, sweet. How can it be such a piece of cake? And your smile is the icing. Loving you is a poem. Honey, you're my sugar.